today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 tips and rules of what I follow and use to help me study for college. Tip number one is not to stay up too late. For everyone, there comes a point in time where your brain just turns off and it will not retain things like it would in the morning when you're more awake or during the day, things like that. Staying up till 5 a.m. the night before your test is only going to make you super tired and forget things. So try and just study as much as you can, and at one point you're just going to have to say, I need to put the books down, I need to go to bed. My second tip is to not look at the clock when you're studying. I know, for example, for myself, I'll sit down at 5 and I know I want to be done around 10 p.m. So if I look at the clock around 8 and I see that I've only read 2 chapters and I have 5 more to go, I'll start stressing out and I'll skim those next 5 chapters just to get done in the next 2 hours. Maybe try setting 60-minute timers and allowing yourself a break to reflect on what you did in that hour and how you can make the next hour better, instead of, doing 3 hours of work and then freaking out that you only have 2 hours left to go. Keep yourself in check about the time instead of stressing. So number 3 is that studying in groups is not for everyone, and it's not for every subject either. So I know for myself, when I study physics, I have to be in a group, and when I'm studying math, I am alone on the 6th floor in the library. You and your group mates need to be aware of when you are being productive and when you're getting off task, and being conscious that, oh, we just talked for 2 hours and we only studied for 1, and making sure everyone's on the same page that when we get together, we need to be working the entire time. It's okay to have those 10-minute breaks talking and everything like that, but if you feel that they're going on for a little too long or something like that, totally okay to just interject and be like, hey, we need to get back on topic or whatever. Tip number 4 is to not study in your room. It is so important for your brain to distinguish 2 different places for work mode and relaxation. So have your room be a place where you can go and just drop your backpack and be like, okay, when I'm in here, I'm just relaxed. I am watching YouTube or playing video games or something like that. Whereas if you go to the library, you're like, when I'm in here, reading my textbook, I'm studying. Your brain can associate, your actions and where you are. So if you're doing math problems in bed, then when you try and go relax later to go to bed, your brain is still going to be like, oh, I'm stressed from doing math in this bed. I cannot sleep in this bed right now. So it's really helpful for your mind and your body if you can make 2 different places. Okay, tip number 5 is something I'm super guilty of not doing enough, but that is setting your goal to have an A in the class rather than just getting the bare minimum to pass. Really treat every class with the same idea of trying your hardest and that you want an A in all of them. So my physics with calculus class obviously is way harder than my backcore class, but I shouldn't neglect one just so that I can do better in the other. Honestly, you're going to thank yourself when you get an A in the backcore class and it brings your overall GPA up because you only got a B in physics or whatever it is. My next tip is to rewrite all of your notes, color code them, and also if your professor posts the lecture slides before, write all of those and then go to lecture. I've gone to lecture and what they're talking about or what they say is so different from the slides, and it's really helpful to get that information. Also with color coding, I know I put notes in purple, definitions in red, theorems and things like that in blue. And yes, I know it's tedious and not everyone has time to totally rewrite notes, especially if you're taking 6 to 10 pages of notes for a class, but you will really thank yourself later. Okay, my next tip is a pretty well-known rule, but just to put away all of your distractions. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. If you have a Mac, you can also do that. And, just telling your friends, hey, I'm going to be studying, so if I don't reply, that's why. I know it can be hard to not check your Snapchat or know that you have a notification, then you're like, what did they say? Things like that. But if you can, just leave your phone at home or something if it's that much of a distraction for you. Okay, so the next is to drink lots of water as well as be well fed before you sit down to study. I know for me, I get really dehydrated pretty easily, and then I get a headache and I feel sick and I feel like I can't study anymore. So drinking lots of water will really help your body. and making sure that you eat enough but not too much. Don't get in a food coma right before you need to go study, but make sure you have something healthy and filling with protein. Maybe bring a snack. So another tip that I have is to use a planner. I have this one. It's from like Paperist, and this one's really good because it has like the month like that, but then it also has weekly spots. Your planner isn't just good for keeping track of assignments, it's also good for, you know, events or demos, appointments and club meetings, things like that. Those things can really pile onto your schedule and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. So writing them down and seeing when they are throughout the week is really helpful. And my 10th and final tip is more so of a rule, and that is work hard, play hard. My uncle once told me this and it has always stayed with me. So just being aware of when you deserve a break and when you really should stay in and keep studying. So yeah guys, that is all of my 10 tips slash rules. If you guys have any other questions, just comment them or send them to me directly on Instagram. And if you have any video suggestions that you would like me to talk about or do or whatever, just let me know. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.